It is the best show in town. It is the best LGBTQIA show. So darling, why haven't you subscribed? Monday to Thursday, bringing you breaking news Wahala. On Friday, sex, education. And Saturday, burning questions. You know, all those questions you've been thinking of asking. Saturday is the day for you, darling. Ask your questions about religion, your questions about what you want to know about us, your question about anything. You can access anything on Saturdays doing burning questions. And you know one thing, you could to be the lucky winner to win our giveaways on Saturdays. And on Sundays, to crown it all, we have the market woman and shade girls. So darling, why do you want to miss out on all these interesting things? Help this channel by clicking the subscribe button.
It's your biggest LGBTQI show in the entire planet. You guys know we are the best of the best. We bring it to you energetic, we bring it to you hot, we bring it to you spicy, breaking news out of this world where nobody talks about it. We talk about it because, as you guys know, LGBTQI news seem to be subjected. This world don't care about us. We will continue to care about each other and bring our news into limelight. I remain your host, Marvelous Achafu Kelechi, and I'm always joined by Chimereze Awunaya in our Toronto studios in Canada. Welcome, Chimereze. How are you doing today?
Good morning, Mr. Achafu. Good morning, Mr. Achafu, reporting all the way from the headquarters. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you very much. Our headquarters now is Canada. And Chimereze, please kindly put the country code, because people are asking what kind of number is that? Is that a satanic number or a COVID vaccine? Is that a COVID vaccine?
Those people asking those questions have never been abroad before, so I'll honestly forgive their ignorance. Forgive their ignorance rather, before you make me speak bad words or bad language. But darling, carry on. Over to Mr. Chafo in Lagos, Nigeria.
Thank you very much. So bullying has become an epidemic in the society we live in today. It has become a trending issue from the recent event that happened in Dowen College. But now, which is Justice for Sylvester, a lot of people have been talking about it. It has been trending.
Birthday around the corner, Sylvester Romani Jr. had a great future ahead. He was on the path to achieving his life ambition of being a pilot. So he and his family thought, but that is a dream that will never come true.
The death of Sylvester Romani, a pupil of this college here in Lekki, Lagos, has sparked a huge outrage. He died in a very controversial circumstance that has forced the authorities to step in by shutting down the school indefinitely. Of course, he died on Tuesday, just a few days before his birthday, which was on Saturday. Despite his tragic loss, his friends and family members did not fail to mark his big day by coming in front of the school gate to drop these various items, flowers, cards and other items carrying inscriptions of how much of a star he was and how greatly he will be missed.
But now we're bringing it closer to home. Well, an LGBTQI boy, a seventh grader, a 12-year-old boy who died, who committed suicide because he was being bullied, excessive bullying. Eric is his name, Eric Finchley. He was bullied by his classmate called for being gay. And funny enough, it was not physical. It was just verbal bullying. Every time he came to school, they were laughing at him, mocking him, because he was always wearing a SpongeBob outfit. He was always like acting as this girly gestures, and they kept on bullying him. And because his parents, Steve and Debbie, thought that he was strong enough, he was withholding it, he had a thick skin. So they said they never felt that this was going to get to him. He felt like, no, he was strong enough until the day he took his own life. which is a very, very sad story, a very sad one. So the LGBTQI community at it again, and this time a 12-year-old boy being called for being gay, probably couldn't take it anymore, and they told him that he was going to go to hell. That was the main thing. He said he was going to go to hell, he was going to end up in hell. God hates him, he's rejected, and so it calls for a big question on bullying. What really is going on in our society? What is happening? Adults are being bullied. Children is now the one on the receiving end now. So we are going to focus on mostly children and maybe just touch on a bit on adults too, but mostly the children being bullied for their sexuality. Chimere, quickly to you, do you experience bullying and how do you feel like we can cope this?
And to be honest, like when I was in high school, a lot of bullying. It was so much that I remember this incident so well when I was like in JSS 3, going to my senior year in high school. No, I was actually even in my senior high school then, that is SS1. I went to a boarding school, so I went to the washroom to go get water, and there was this other guy, my classmate, and he literally pushed me in the washroom, and then I sustained an injury that lasted me for a year, 6 months in the hospital and a year at home, that I had to go to write my senior WAEC or my senior diploma with even sleepers. That was how bad the injury was. When growing up, I was very feminine. Even now, I'm very flamboyant, and people have an issue with us. And they have an issue with us because they expect us to be ashamed of ourselves. They expect us not to accept ourselves who we are. They expect us to be pressed down. And when they see this type of boldness from us, they are bittered. They are bitter that we use the same thing they used to weaponize us to become great, to become strong. Yes, everybody will experience bullying, but my only problem is that when you're experiencing bullying, especially at a tender age, you don't know who to turn to, which is the case of this children. Like an adult, if I'm expressing bullying, I know the right people to report to. This is where we have to ask parents. Parents, you need to understand your children. Being a father or a mother doesn't mean you just provide their basic need for these children. And that is one thing I see in the case of Sylvester. Sylvester case, he had a relationship with his father. He could tell his father things, but his father even took the necessary step. It was recorded in one of the videos that his father had gone to the school to report that his son had been bullied.
In JS1, this matter had started. Did you report to the school authorities about this bullying?
JS1, no.
No, in GS1 we did, but then in GS1 it wasn't anything about a beating. I was in the school, so it was like it felt like some myself boys too, they were like protecting him in a way. And this Michael Kashamu, there was an incident with him. I don't know what happened, but the seniors tend to be very power drunken. So I don't exactly, it was in SS1 then, last session, now he's in SS2. So I don't really remember the incident, but I'm pretty sure it was a very minor incident because he is a junior. He wasn't rude to his senior. He wasn't rude or anything. He's the kind of person that he will even want to kiss up to his senior so they would like him. So they won't be mean to him. You understand?
But the school did not take appropriate measures because they felt it's a normal thing. Now boarding house, it is to build up. In short, I was even told it is to make them strong. Let us send these children to boarding house so that they can experience what the real world experiences, so that they can be strong. But at the end of the whole day, not everybody is wired the same way. Not everybody can, survive the harshness of words. And it is so sad that a 12 years old boy felt the only way to escape this cruelty is by suicide. And this should be appalling. Why is depression and suicide becoming the order of the day? We need to start checking up on children. We need to start, counseling those who are going through time. One person call you, say, see, oh boy, I'm not feeling like living again. This life don't tire me. The response from people, especially Nigerians and Africans, is like, waiting going to make your life even better past my own. You know waiting they go through. You know waiting I don't see. Seeing a value to life. Stop comparing your own experience. And sometimes these experiences are not the same thing. Somebody lost his dad and you lost a cat and you're comparing those two situations together. Are you mad? Are you not? We need to stop this comparison. When people tell you what they are going through, if you cannot relate to it, try to listen. Try to give them a shoulder to lean on. Try to check up on your children. Try to check up on your child's friends. And when I say check up, because most people are nosy, I'm not saying be nosy, but check up if these kids are doing well. I feel institutions, schools should check and put principles, because it's not about just having this story, telling this story, but having a proper standard, rules to checkmate what goes on in school. If you're going to have children and you're going to gather kids and children in a place or in a school, in a boarding house, then you need to own up to the responsibility of making sure that the staffs you have, the system you have, the rules and regulations you have can cater to every child. You cannot use one rule, you cannot use one syllabus for 24 children. We are not all wired the same way. That is the error these institutions are making. Not all kids learn one way. We need to begin to cater to each child. If you need to reduce the number of students in classes, reduce them. If you need to assign one teacher per student, assign. If you need to have an emotional or even a mental health day or counseling with kids, have this open sharing your body. This is when I learned from Scripture Union to say we used to have what we call sharing of body, but the matter be said that when you share your body finish, they will use it against you. But it is a good idea, sharing your body, so that these kids can be free to share their bodies to these counselors or their parents. That is it. Over to you, to Mr. Chafa. We don't want to make this video long.
I've already basically even made the video long, Seth. So just for me, quickly, giving my final, to make it final submission, it's a national shame, the kind of parenting we have these days. It's a very shameful parenting. A lot of parents should be ashamed of themselves. 3 things for me. First, the school. Second, parents. Third, the government. Let me start with the school. It's a shame these days that we have schools with a lot of teachers who are just beds of passage. They don't care about teaching. They don't have the qualifications to be a teacher. They do not know how to manage children. They are basically not even worthy to manage dogs. Talk less of to manage children, so they don't care about the children anymore. That's why bullying can go on in schools these days, and yet teachers who are supposed to be the higher authority, teachers, principals, proprietors, whatever you call them, but let me just use the word that all of them are just in the teaching business. The school in general cannot provide authority, cannot nip it in the bud. If the school had been very vigilant, had been open, had probably suggestion, but had a place whereby every child could come and get justice for whatever harm they are going through, I'm not sure it would have gotten to this stage. It probably would not have. Now it has gotten to this stage, and it surprises me that for an LGBTQI country who recognizes LGBTQI rights, this kind of thing could happen. So it shows the kind of decay in that school in Tennessee where that happened. Second, again, one issue I also feel, the other issue for me is the issue of of parents. Sorry, Jerry, my light burnt my charger. It always powers me down. So, second issue for me is the issue of the parents. The parents, we have a lot of parents these days. But I'll just use the word irresponsible. Your child should be able to talk to you, no matter how little it is. Your child should be able to explain things to you. How well do you check up on your child? In many countries, just like the case of Sylvester, I told them, I said, what is the PTA for? It's a very shameful thing. Even in that doing college, they said they have not had a PTA for how many years now? I was watching a particular school, I think it was a Zimbabwe YouTube video. I've been trying to look for it, but I can't find it anymore. Where they were engaging, where parents were engaging in a PTA meeting, questioning teachers. I was very impressed. Asking the right questions, putting teachers on the board, asking them from everything, from the children's water to the children's teaching, to the environment, to the playground. Why was it getting rusted? To the space of the school. They were asking vital questions. The PTA, engaging teachers, asking them how the school children, the uniform. They were asking them, what about their feeding? What about even down to the water they use? the water they drink. They were trying to find out everything. They were having an engaging PT, down to even social activities, what they perform during their recreational time. Is there sports? Is there this? Very engaging this thing. But now we have parents who do not even show up for PT, who don't care about their children. They live as early as, now everywhere now, they say the world now has become a rat race, where you leave for work as early as, you wake up as early as 4, 5, you're out of the house, and you come back as late as 10, sometimes even 12. What time will you have to spend with your kids? Bad parenting everywhere, failed parenting. God do not care. And I tell parents again, please try and bully-proof your children. Whether they are LGBTQI or not, or whatever it is they are in this one, bully-proof your children. The first way to bully-proof them is like getting them to learn self-defense. And please give them emotional support. Try and maybe provide the therapy to give them emotional support. Bully-proof them by giving them first of all self-defense in case it gets heated or gets physical. That one is important. They should go and learn from the movie called 4 Moves, one of the best movies I've ever seen. The way that man taught his child self-defense when he knew that his child was gay. Go and parents should watch from that and learn a cue. And also emotional support. Build up a child emotional support for them to be able to program things and be able to dissect things, and so it doesn't overwhelm them and they get depressed and probably end their life. And lastly, on the side of government, we have failed government system. Every Ministry of Education in many countries are failing. Many of them, they are failed. That's why even in Nigeria is the most African countries. Ministry of Education has basically failed now. They don't check up on this thing. They don't investigate. That's why you see a lot of things happening. You see them even having court groups in young schools. This is having performing all sort of atrocities, having cliques. It happens in their board. There's an article I was reading that the bullies in Great Britain, the bullies in Great Wall or something. It was a Britain story. That's why I think the great bullies of Great Britain. I can't remember. I think that was it. The great bullies of Great Britain. I read that article. I said this is happening in Britain, of all places, where we say there are serial crimes, going as far as bullying people, forming cliques, drawing their pants up. Some of them they will leave them up with their pants. Some of them they will give them buckets to fetch water and just be pouring on the ground. Some terrible, terrible bully stories from UK, coming out from UK. And I wonder that where will not become safe for the average, especially the average poor child. It's one thing for you to be a child. It's becoming an endangered species. You are prone to bullying, you are prone to stigma, you are prone to all sorts of rubbish, all form of dehumanization. When you are not a gay child, then what is the hope for you? Because there are some Christians who also turn a blind eye. They say their religion, they are toughening him up. Is their religion, don't worry, they will toughen him up. Even your Christianity would even fuel the homophobia in you. He behaves like a woman too much. Let them just teach him 1 or 2 things. Let them toughen him up. Let them speak to him. Some will say it's just ordinary words. But ordinary words now made the child to lose his life. And may his soul rest in peace. The parents should be ashamed of themselves. The school should be ashamed of themselves. And finally, the Ministry of Education of US, especially Tennessee, the state of Tennessee, they should be ashamed of themselves that this boy's blood will be in their hands. It's not the first time in the US. Many cases like that. We know of the 9-year-old boy who committed suicide too. We know of the 11-year-old boy, 2019, 2020, 2017. It has been happening. But what has been done to curb it? I'm sure very soon I might have another one too. You might probably be a 6-year-old. God forbid, because of the failure to do what is right. And that's our offering for Q Talk for this episode. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. As usual, we will bring it out every day back to back. Sorry, separation episode got heated. Hashtag justice for Sylvester, but also hashtag justice for Eric. What's the last name again? I can't remember. Hashtag justice for Eric too. Just the same way hashtag justice for Sylvester. We're going to be putting hashtag justice for Eric. Both of them. Our children must get justice. They must be safe from bullies. Till next episode, see you guys later. Peace out.